Shabbat Shalom, everybody. You know how I know it's a wonderful evening? It's not snowing. Let me tell you about, if you want to know a story about snow, ask Jan. She was part of history yesterday. It had the worst gridlock in Manhattan ever. And she experienced it. But I know it's really special because I have not seen this many ties and jackets on men on a Friday night. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, sure. But on a Friday night Shabbat, it's beautiful. And we're here for a very special Shabbat. We are installing our cantor, Renata Braun, and it's a wonderful time to celebrate. And if anybody has any room to move in, I see we're filling in the back. We'll try to show if there's any more seats. But we're here to sing and to enjoy and to worship and to be thankful for all we have in life because it stopped snowing. We'll turn now to page 120, 121 as I invite up the two chairs of the committee, the search committee, Sue Bondi and Ann Leonard.
These Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We turn now to page 123 as we rise for the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei bericha ba'afel.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho me'ov
be seated as we turn to page 127. We read at the bottom of the page, "We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings." We'll turn now to the song that welcomes the Sabbath bride, Lachadodi, on page 138. Again, with verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on verse 9, we stand, we face the door, and welcome the bride as she enters. Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmiyanu Erev Adonai echad, U'shmo echad, Shem l'tiferet
Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela.
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'lecha, Ki mekor ha'bracha, Merosh mikerem lesocha. Shabbatila,
Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela.
Hitoreri, hitoreri, Ki ba'orech, Kumi uri, 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 Shir dameri,
Allahayich nigla, Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela.
Bri v'shalom aterir b'ala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Tov emunei am segula, Bo yichala, Bo yichala.
Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Lechadodi, Lechrat Kahala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. We'll continue now on page 144 as we continue with Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Be'omad yiberach yiroti be'amlich malchuti, B'chayechol yomechol,
Uv'chayei lechol Beit Yisrael.
Ba'agala, ba'agala,
U'bizman ka'ariv.
v'imiru.
Amen. Yeshmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam u'lam ve'omaya, yitvarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitrama v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei l'kodesha ne'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbecha v'nehemata tamiran v'alma v'imiru.
Please rise as we turn to the Baruch Hu.
Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'divaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, u'vitfuna mishaneh itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'misader et hakochavim, b'mishmeroteim barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, Umavdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tsevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Seated. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that that winding way to the promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Let us continue on page 161, the top of the page, together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue now with Yismichu, which can be found on page 162. Sang the words, those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. And we take this time as we are rejoicing, as we are delighting, to prepare ourselves as we rise for the Amidah, which can be found on page 164, to be thankful. Please join me as we rise. To be thankful for the things in which we were able to take delight, in which we took delight this particular week. We give thanks. We give praise.
May Hoshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham be'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh ha'olam atah, rav le'Hoshia, mashtiv haruach u'morid ha'nashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim berofet oholim, umatir asurim, umekayem ato lishenei afar, michamoch abal geburot, umidah melach, melech memit umekayem, umatzmiach Yeshua, b'ne'eman atah le'hayot v'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Page 173 as we continue. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Ritzi Adonai Eloheinu, be'amecha Yisrael, u'tefilatam me'ava tikabel, u'de'il ratzon, tamid avodat Yisrael. Yisrael amecha, קרוב לחר, קרוב פני לעבדיך וחננו, שבה עלינו, ותזינו עינינו, בשובך לציון. ברחמים, ברוך אתה, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot. take a moment, each of us, in silence, in prayer, in meditation.
It's now time to turn our thoughts to those in need of healing. Yishberach Avotenu v'Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Yivarech et Cholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. Our thoughts turn to those in need of healing. We think of Shana Esther Bat Rachel, Steve Brent, Barb DeCario, Evelyn Mitzner-Woll, James Boyle, Bat Jalea Bat Etel, Beth Shackman, Thomas DiMatteo, Ira Coleman, Yeshaya Edel Ben Gittel, Bonnie Hughes, Rini Feingold, Mark Friedman, Elizabeth Friedman, George Okrent. If you have other names to share, as I look in your direction, please say those names or pray for them in your heart.
Marion Glad, Jackie Fields,
Sheila Small, Nadine Ryback,
Shayna Pies.
Mark Rockefeller,
Lori Kirschner, Leo Ortega, David Cody.
May the Holy and Blessed One be filled with compassion, for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them renewal of body and spirit. May God grant strength to them, their loved ones, and their caretakers. Let us say,
Amen.
So as that was being sung, Renata, I remember that you're from Livingston with Rabbi Kasdan, and the first time I heard that song was before it was finished. Cantor Leon Shore was living in Livingston at the time, and I went over to his home, and he said, "I've written the best piece I've ever written," and that's the first time I heard it, 2002. Well, so that's the connection in Livingston. So now let's make other connections. Now, I don't know how to do this because I've never introduced a rabbi cantor rabbi before. I've either introduced rabbis or I've introduced cantors. Which you like to go first? Oksana. Okay. So we are honored to have Oksana Chapman, who is a rabbi and a cantor and a rabbi. Here, a dear friend of Cantor Braun's, and I gather you were a basketball team. There were 5 of you up in the New England and in the Massachusetts area that used to get together, and just to know her credential, Oksana, I have to say rabbi or cantor, Rabbi Cantor's, Chapman's credentials are, she was ordained as a cantor at the Hebrew Union College where she studied with Cantor Braun. She then went on to the Hebrew College, which is in Massachusetts and Boston, and received her rabbinical ordination. And she has been serving at Temple Emmanuel in Chelsea, Massachusetts. Some of you Bostonians know Chelsea, and we welcome her to our bima to install Cantor Braun.
I don't have a loud voice. Can you hear me on the back? Oh, good. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. First, I would like to thank you very much for your warm welcoming me into your community. It is my pleasure and honor to be here and to take part of my dear friend, Cantor Renata Braun's installation. Renata and I met on November 5th in 1995. We were both cantoral students, but we haven't met in person yet. You might think that I have an amazing memory to remember the exact day 23 years ago, and I wish. November 4th of 1995 was a very sad day when Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated. The very next day, I called Renata, a fellow Russian-speaking friend or student who was still in Israel for her first year at Hebrew Union College to see how she was doing. You don't remember that? No. I knew that. In a few months, Renata and I met in person, became friends and roommates. Together we went on many adventures and discovered our passion for sushi. This week's Torah portion is Vayetze, which includes the story of Rachel and Leah, the 2 sisters with different and even opposite characteristics that also exist in each of us, creating a balance. Leah and Rachel can be seen as representing the prototype of every relationship. In our parsha, Jacob runs from his brother Esau and came to his uncle Lavan. Lavan had 2 daughters, the older daughter Leah and the younger Rachel. Jacob fell in love with Rachel and agreed to work for Lavan for 7 years to marry her. After 7 years passed, Jacob marries Rachel, but in the morning discovers that he had been tricked into marrying Leah instead. You know the story. A week after Jacob married Leah, he is permitted to marry Rachel with the condition that he works another 7 years for Lavan. Here is what we have so far. On a very simplistic level of understanding, we have a love triangle. Jacob has 2 wives, one of which Rachel he loves, and the other, according to Torah, Leah, he hates, Snuah in Hebrew. For Leah's emotional suffering, God rewards her with 6 sons, exactly half of the 12 tribes of Israel, and 1 daughter, Dinah. Leah names her daughter Dinah, meaning judgment. Despite the tension in their relationship, Leah is seen by our tradition as acting thoughtfully and even compassionately towards her sister Rachel. The Talmud explains, Leah pronounces judgment Dinah upon herself. She thought, if this is a male child, another male child, the 7th, my sister Rachel will not be esteemed even as one of her handmaids. So Leah prayed over the unborn male child, and he turned into a female. I love Talmud. The Talmud displays Leah as a paradigm of effective prayer, so much that through prayer, Leah could even change her baby's gender. This is how they describe it. Leah's prayers, like a perfectly poised arrow, reach straight to heaven, and her faith shifts. She prayed to God that it not be a baby boy, but a girl instead. She wanted to leave a room for her younger sister Rachel in contributing, in creating the 12 tribes of Israel. In other words, despite of the emotional pain of being rejected and even hated, wife, can you just imagine her pain? Leah cares about her sister opponent, Rachel. Leah is portrayed as a thoughtful and considerate person. Here is another level of comparison between Rachel and Leah. According to Kabbalah, love Kabbalah also, every character in the Tanakh is not just a physical, historical figure that lived at a certain time and place. Instead, each person represents a characteristics within the psyche in each of us. The great Kabbalist Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the founder of Chabad, explains it this way. Leah's soul stemmed from the world of thought, while Rachel's soul was from the world of speech. Rachel was a communicator. Today we would refer to her as a Jewish PR. She was charismatic and appealing to others. She commanded a sphere of influence. Leah, on the other hand, is a master of genuine introspective prayer, of meditation, of humility and innocence. Jacob never understood Leah. And what do we do when we don't understand something? More often we are scared, run away, don't like it, and sometimes hate it. Thus, Rachel and Leah represents 2 dimensions existing in each person, thought and speech. Yet together, Rachel and Leah have created a whole, and together they mothered the Jewish nation. I see 2 lessons that apply beautifully to this occasion, the installation of Cantor Renata Braun. The first is the power of prayer, and the second is uniting different parts to make a strong whole. This year you decided to welcome into your congregation the first ordained cantor. Mazal tov on your wonderful decision, and let me tell you why you made the best decision possible. Let me remind us who cantor is. Cantors are so much more than just a beautiful voice. Cantors dedicate their lives to the art of leading us in prayer. Just as Leah, with the power of prayer, was able to change her fate, nothing changes a prayer as much as the power of music. Music is prayer and can and does change the world. And just as Rachel was a communicator with a sphere of influence, so does a cantor need to be gifted with talents that go beyond leading prayer and music. According to the Union of Reformed Judaism, together with rabbis, cantors are a vital part of the life of the community they serve. He or she participates in a celebration of birth, in the education of the Bnei Mitzvah, in the ceremonies of confirmation and marriage, in the funerals of the congregants, and pastoral counseling. Cantors enjoy freedom in the practice of their calling, and with unique expertise in the music of our people transmit Jewish values and identity to congregants of all ages. Congregation is best served when its lay and professional leadership consider themselves partners in carrying on the sacred functions of the synagogue. I'm so happy for Cantor Renata, I don't know you as Cantor, David, Daniel, and Jonathan to find a home at Temple Sinai community. And I'm more than happy for the Temple Sinai to find Cantor Braun. Together you can create the union that will serve this congregation well. As partners in any marriage, this will be a relationship of mutual support. We all know that a thoughtful with a great sense of humor, Cantor Renata will lead this congregation with her great musical abilities, her gorgeous voice, her heart, inner light, compassion, and warmth. In return, her partner, Temple Sinai, needs to support Renata Braun. You have to make sure to protect her from burning herself out, because she will give everything of herself to you and this temple. This work is meaningful and joyful, but it also tiring at times, and you may need to remind her to rest, to take care of her voice, and come and visit her friends in Massachusetts. Then and only then you will have a happy life together. And I would like to conclude with a song by Debbie Friedman, a song that I often use for weddings. May you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace. May you be blessed with health and joy. May this be your blessing. Amen. Blessing, amen. Amen, amen. May this be your blessing, amen. May you be sheltered by the wings of peace. May you be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be your blessing. Amen. Amen.
Well, thank you, dear friend, Rabbi Kenter Rabbi, Oksana Chaplin. It means so much that you are here for my family, for David and Jonathan and Daniel. So my question to you, can you listen to two Russian-speaking people in a row? Well, I feel very thrilled and honored tonight. Well, Oksana has Russian accent. In Russian, I have Russian accent with Ukrainian accent. So it sounds a little bit different. Well, Temple Sinai is truly a wonderful community, and David and I and our two sons, Daniel and Jonathan, have been welcomed by so many of you. We really appreciate your warmth and hospitality. Already during my interview process, I felt so moved by our beautiful sanctuary and its architecture. And I remember my first impression was an awe. And I said to myself, wow, that's what spirituality looks like. And this is where God dwells. This is where I can find God's presence. And it's unlike any other sanctuaries I've ever seen. And it's not a coincidence that the Torah portion of this week is Vayetze. And it also talks about Jacob and his dream. And in his dream, God appears to Jacob and makes a covenant with him, promising Jacob the land and to make Jacob's descendants like the dust of the earth. God promises Jacob to watch over him whenever he goes, and all Jacob's descendants will find blessing and favor of God. Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, wow, truly, the eternal is in this place. God is in this place, and I didn't know. And he said, how awe-inspiring is the place. This is none other than house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. Well, this is not a dream for me. This is a reality for me. I am in the gates of heaven. As Jacob have made a covenant with God and his people, in the same way I'm standing here tonight, creating a sacred covenant with all of you. And I'm grateful for the sacred opportunity. I remember during the interview and during my audition, I was warming up my voice with Irina practicing, and Rabbi Till come over there, and with a smile she said, I can hear you on the other side of the temple. You don't need a microphone. So, okay. And then I remember calling David, my husband, and describing the beautiful sanctuary with glass, and it's such amazing structure. So he listened to me, and then he said, Renata, please find out, before you sing, if the temple has policy insurance on the glass. Well, they have insurance. But we feel very, very blessed to be part of this community, so rich in learning and warm friendship, and so passionate about Jewish music and its heritage. I feel fortunate given the opportunity to share my voice, music skills, my love, passion, and knowledge of Jewish music with all of you. Temple Sinai has been blessed with wonderful cantorial soloists, Joel Bloom and Elise Wachikovsky. I think I'm the only one who's saying it right. Elise, from the moment we met, I felt your warm personality, and I thank you for giving me your support and for making my transition easier for me. You've been a good friend from the beginning. I feel honored to be working with Irina, our incredible pianist and accompanist, and such a talented musician, and Vera Foster, our amazing conductor. I feel thrilled to be able to make music with so many wonderful musicians and singers in the congregation. Your talents, your musical gifts, and musical openness will allow me to think outside the box. My hope that together we will continue to inspire our community by introducing new styles of music, engaging services, and fun concerts. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs teaches us, words are the language of the mind. Music is the language of the soul. The Torah is God's libretto, and we, the Jewish people, are God's choir, the performance of God's choral symphony. My vision is that all of you, are God's choir, will sing God's symphony in one congregational voice. As I hope that in the years to come, I will get to know each and every one of you, and you will allow me to share in your happiness and sadness. And together we will mourn losses, and we'll celebrate weddings, bnei mitzvahs, baby namings, and many other occasions. I'm looking forward to be partnering with our incredible bnei mitzvah tutors, Ellen Goldenberg and Pauline Rosenberg. I'm honored to work with such dedicated people. I appreciate your integrity and willingness to build our Bnei Mitzvah program with me, and my hope is that we'll work together, hand in hand, to expand and perfect our Bnei Mitzvah program. My vision is to engage our children in various musical activities, building a youth choir, creating a youth band, and expand Shabbat programming for children and adults. There are so many people I would like to thank tonight. First, my thanks and appreciation to Anne Leonard and Sue Bundy, and to the entire search committee for bringing me to Temple Sinai and helping me and my family integrate to Rochester community. It wasn't easy. To the president of the congregation, Blanche Fenster, thank you for your warm welcome and helping us to get to know the community. I don't see people, so I cannot make eye contact. I don't know where everybody's sitting. To Jerry Ellman, Joyce Schechter, Holly Voloshin, Bobby Sarnov, Laura Chekhov, TJ Aubrey, thank you for always being there for me and my family. Thank you to Jane Katz for your hospitality and for your insight. To our educator, Ilana Dar, thank you for your warm welcome to Temple Sinai and to allow me to integrate into Temple Sinai Religious School. I'm looking forward to collaborate with you on many projects. I see you. Thank you to the secret committee who planned that beautiful celebration for me. It is a wonderful and unexpected surprise. You really kept it as a secret. I didn't know anything about it. Thanks to all the members of Temple Sinai who welcomed our family into Rochester and made our transition easier. We are very grateful. And to my dear rabbis. Pirkei Avot teaches a person who learns from another one chapter, one teaching, one verse, one saying, or even one letter is obligated to honor them. Well, I'm blessed and privileged to work with two gifted and terrific rabbis. And I'm so honored to collaborate and work as a team in sharing our holy obligations and responsibilities. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a part of your great spiritual team. I thank my beloved husband, David, and my children, Daniel and Jonathan, and my whole extended family for giving me endless support, lots of love, and genuine admiration. I would like to conclude with these inspiring words of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. This great Hasidic rabbi teaches us, get into the habit of singing a tune. It will give you a new life and fill you with joy. Get into the habit of dancing. It will displace your depression and dispel hardship. Even if you can't sing, sing. Sing to yourself. Sing in the privacy of your home. But sing. May this be God's will. Kini Hiratzon. And let us say, Amen. I will invite Elise Wachakovsky to sing Ledor Vador with me from Generation to Generation by Josh Nelson.
We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Ledor vador nagid Adlecha. Ledor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation. Ledor vador these lips will praise your name.
Looking back on the journey that we carry in our hearts, from the shadow of a mountain to the waters that would part, we are blessed and we are holy, we are children of Yahweh, and our words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say.
Ledor vador nagid Adlecha. Ledor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation. Ledor vador these lips will praise your name. Ledor vador nagid Adlecha. Ledor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation. Ledor vador these lips will praise your name.
Well, for my next number, I will sing. You know, it's brought in these last few weeks. We were here to mourn. We were here to celebrate with others, and we're here to celebrate again. And it just warms my heart to know that we can fill beyond the sanctuary with wonderful, loving people who are the members of Temple Sinai and the supporters of everything we do here. In this week's Torah portion, we have a very unusual phrase, when, after his dream, Jacob realizes that God was present. He exclaims, Yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh, v'anochi lo yadati. And in this phrase, there is actually a double mention of the I, the first person singular subject. The simple translation is often, surely God is in this place and I did not know. A number of years ago, Rabbi Lawrence Kushner wrote a book that titled it, God was in this place and I did not know. This took into account both the I contained in the verb construction yadati and the additional I in the word va'anochi. This week, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs commented on the same unusual grammar. He turned the phrase inside out so that instead of I did not know, it became, I did not know my I. It negated the ego when Jacob was truly praying to God. He points out that if we truly want to become engaged in prayer, which is a conversation with God, we need to minimize our own egos. Cantor Braun has brought that perspective into her cantorate. She constantly shares her space on the bima with various singers and other musicians. She brings the congregation into an active role of singers as she encourages all to join in. And once again, she told you, sing, sing. She balances that with the presentation of her own talents and artistry. Tonight was a perfect example. Think of the different styles of music you heard tonight. We hear some new melodies. We hear a sample of traditional cantorial presentations. And her mixing of styles allows us to see Jewish music in its multiple forms. Yet most important, Cantor Braun offers us new enthusiasm and a personal warmth, reaching out to each congregant no matter what age. Cantor Braun, Renata, may you be blessed with our love and gratitude as our cantor.
I totally heard the "some of us should sing at home" message, by the way. So Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote that music is the soul of language, and that a good sentence is more than a series of words grouped together. A sentence without a tone, without a musical quality, is like a body without a soul. Cantor Braun, you lead and inspire us in song. You encourage us to delight in worship and to be a community of prayer, intent, and participation. We are so grateful you have joined us and to have come to know you over these past months as a teacher of Torah, a leader in prayer, as a spiritual guide in our life cycle events, and with your family as a member of our community. You have added your voice literally and figuratively to the continued building and envisioning of Temple as a Sukkat Shalom, as a shelter of peace. You have added your voice to make this a place for both personal renewal and communal gathering, abounding in song, energy, joy, and connection to the sacred. We pray that as you do this holy work, that you are granted the wisdom and compassion in equal measure to teach, excite, invite curiosity, and when needed, provide comfort to those in need. That you have love, dedication, and inspiration as you endeavor, and that you, Cantor Braun, help us continue to be a home for celebration and exploration of Jewish learning, spirituality, and community. May Torah and tradition continue to be a source of joy for you, and may you help us move from strength to strength as you too move from strength to strength. We look forward to continuing the journey that we have begun together, and through your leadership, be reminded how music is the soul of language. We invite you, please, to join us on the bima for this blessing. Actually, you should stay on the bima. Join us in front of the altar.
We offer this blessing that you sometimes sing with us, but we're not letting you sing it this time.
We're going to sing it.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you, and may God keep you. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May the light of God shine upon you, and may God always be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha, yasem lecha shalom.
May the fullness of God's countenance, may all that is good about God, shine and be with you, and may you be blessed with peace.
She's always apologizing. I don't know why. We'll continue with our heading into our closing prayer, so we turn to page 586 as we rise for the Aleinu. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. In Shabbat, we extend sympathies to all who are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, for Alan Rubin, friend of Peggy Cherkasky, Alan McPherson, the father of Ann McPherson, Phyllis Stoltz, the aunt of Gail Ferraioli, and the victims of the Pittsburgh shooting, David Rosenthal, Cecil Rosenthal, Richard Gottfried, Jerry Rabinowitz, Irving Younger, Daniel Stein, Joyce Feinberg, Melvin Wax, Bernice Simon, Sylvan Simon, Rose Mallinger. And we also mourn those who recently have lost their lives in the terrible acts of violence throughout the country, and those who have lost their lives in the terrible destructive fires in California. We also remember the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Elaine Adler, Samuel Agins, William W. Cohen, Mindy Dennis, Lillian Dollinger, Lorraine Dorfman, Sylvia Feingold, Solomon Gold, Evelyn Greenfield, Charles Grossman, Stanley Handelman, Maureen Highfield, Eleanor Cantor Naftal, Phyllis Kaplan, Miriam Kasich, Theodore Levy, Linda Lieberman, Earl Lovenheim, Janet Melvin Neisner, Ria Passero, Sam Passero, Brian Salerno, Abraham Schachter, Mildred Schiller, Saul Skirker, Herman Supnick, Harold Sussman, and Jonathan Taub. Are there any other names that anyone would like to share of recent deaths or yard sites?
Shirley Gray. Bernard Schmitzer.
Zichronam Livracha, may their memories all be for blessing. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, V'agalav Zman Kariv Yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Li'olam L'Olmei Olmaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei Kudeshah Berechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran V'yalma V'yimru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav V'yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yal Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'yimru Amen. May God who creates peace in the heavens above, let peace descend on us, on all Israel, on all humanity throughout the earth. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do first. It's almost entirely congregants in this room. There are a few visitors. We welcome them. Hi, visitors. Glad you're here. But I'm sure that many of you don't know other congregants. So try to see a congregant. And if you can't do it now because you're sitting or you just know everybody, try to find a congregant that you don't know. Greet them and introduce yourself now. And just greet somebody with a Shabbat Shalom. So once again, I want to thank Rabbi Cantor, Oksana Chapman, for coming all the way from Massachusetts to beautiful, sunny, warm Rochester. I want to thank everybody who's planned this evening, all the participants in this evening, our singers, Susan Rizzo, Lindsay Hagan, Bob Hyman, Marie Pellet, and Vince Bissett. And, what? Did I say that? Wait, I'm not up to that yet. I'm just trying to get it done. Elise, thank you for coming up here and joining us again. I want to thank our musicians, of course, Arena, who is always with us, and Ellen Ingram and Jay Schildkraut for adding to the music. Again, that's the music that we create is the life we give to our prayer. And of course, I want to thank Cantor Renata Braun for shaping and creating the service tonight. We had a lot of ushers and greeters. Thank you all. We have people who, there are 3 chairs of the committee who did this. Is it 2 official chairs? So it's Iris Giancola and Lori Diggory? No, Doris Soderat. Yeah, it's Doris was the other co-chair. I know Lori's been around a lot, and so has Hope Madonia, and a lot of other people have helped. Thank you all. I don't have all the names here, I'm just guessing, and I'm not good at that. Following the service, we're going to say the Motzi here, and then those who are staying for dinner will go in for dinner. We've said, bless the candles, we've blessed the wine, we will bless the challah, so just eat. Daniel and Jonathan agree with me on that one, right? Just to eat? Okay. Tomorrow morning at 9:15, we have Torah study. At 9:30, we have our Tat Shabbat program. And then at 10:30, we have a Shabbat morning service. Sunday, Cantor Braun will be teaching an adult ed session. Last time she did Adon Olam. What are you doing this time?
Micha Mocha.
Micha Mocha, okay. You're going to learn the ins and outs of Micha Mocha. And then in the afternoon, with regular school and all the rest of that stuff. And afternoon, the Women's Chavara is sponsoring a visit to the Artisan Works. Again, we have the Thanksgiving vacation, no school on Wednesday, office closed on Thursday and Friday. The Interfaith Thanksgiving service this year will be at the First Baptist Church of Rochester, which is on the corner of Clover and Allens Creek, and it's at 11 a.m. Next Friday, 6 p.m. service, Saturday 24th, 9:15, 10:30. And finally, We have this Monday at the JCC, the author and thinker Yossi Klein Halevi, who wrote the book Letters to My Palestinian Neighbor, will be speaking at 7:30. And also, if you're interested in singing in the temple choir, please contact the office or speak with Cantor Broad. You don't have to say tonight, give her a break and celebrate tonight. So, another blessing of the Challah. Come on, boys. I'll use the knife. You use the bread. Our closing song for the evening probably does not need a page number, it doesn't even have one, Hava Nagila. Please rise for closing benediction. Adonai Oz li'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Eternal God, grant strength to our people, grant strength to all people. May we go from strength to strength when we keep moving on and creating a loving and caring community together. And then we will be blessed with shalom. Peace.